Good afternoon, everybody. In this opportunity, we're going to talk a new theory, the theory of speech acts. This theory was presented and sustained by two linguists, John Austin and John Searle. They worked together at a certain extent, but the first part of the theory was presented and supported by John Austin. The speech act theory attempts to understand ways in which meaning is created in context. It refers, or speech act here refers, not only to an utterance that is made, but to the total situation surrounding. And to this idea that whenever we say something, we are also doing something. In this case, speech act is related to doing, to performing something. And by saying something, we are doing something. We utter a performative. For example, when apologizing, we say, sorry I did that, I regret for what I did. Or when asking for permission, excuse me, can you move a little forward because I need to go by? Or for example, we're threatening someone, you better clean your room or you'll get what you deserve. Okay, a very familiar example in my case. So, utterances perform what they communicate, but not all the time utterances are performative. But although utterances are not performatives, they still perform a speech act. In this sense, Austin suggested classifying this different conversation or these different speech acts using a three-part framework. This framework presents speech acts at different levels. The first one, locutionary act. The second one, illocutionary act. And the third one, perlocutionary act. The locutionary act, when we talk about locutionary act, we say or we make reference to the precise words used in an utterance. For example, what a nice smell comes from your kitchen. Illocutionary act is the actual meaning of the phrase, what is implicit in the phrase. It doesn't matter what the speaker is saying, but there is an implicit meaning in that phrase. For example, the speaker wants the hearer to invite him for lunch. And the perlocutionary act is the effect that the spoken words have on the hearer. So you expect a specific response or a specific answer to what it says, to what it is said. For example, would you like to stay for lunch? Or a different answer, sorry, or yes, my mom is cooking lunch, but I'm in a hurry because I need to go to school. So the responses may be different, okay? But a response is expected to a locutionary act. This is the theory that was presented by Austin. Some years later, Austin started working with John Searle, and they worked together in this theory of speech acts. Searle presented the idea or the concept of the felicity conditions. Felicity conditions are the social and the cultural elements that are part of the context that makes communication or conversations possible. And both of them worked a typology of speech acts rooted in the range of illocutionary verbs. And basing his ideas on this, he presented a 5-utterance typology. The first one, representatives. Second one, directives. The third one's commissives. The fourth category is expressives, and the fifth category, declaratives. In representatives, we have the speaker gets to the truth, gets to a conclusion. So the most common or regular verbs that we find in these utterances are conclude, understand, or realize, or assert. In directives, the speaker wants the hearer to do something. So he wants to get a result. So the most common verbs in directives are ask, order, request. In commissives, the speaker commits himself to do something in the future. So the most common verbs are offer, I promise, threaten. It's a regular situation from that group of utterance from commissive. In number 4, expressives, the speaker expresses a psychological state. So if we are talking about promising, apologizing, welcoming, thanking, the most common verbs we're going to find in that category are welcome, thank, I apologize, I regret doing that. And in the 5th type, we find declaratives. The speaker expresses something that is established according to extra-linguistic institutions. So we can talk about, for example, the declarative act of christening. The extra-linguistic institution in this case is the church. So a priest says, I baptize you in the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. So he is producing a specific change in the person who is receiving christening, for example. So most common or regular verbs that we find in this type are baptize, pronounce, declare, state, communicate. So I declare, and now I declare you husband and wife. That's another example of declaratives. These are the 5 types that are included in Searle's system of speech acts. And finally, he also presents the idea of indirect speech acts. Indirect speech acts, okay? He bases his theory on the observation that by uttering, for instance, what appears to be a question, okay? But it is actually not a question. So if a couple goes to a shopping mall and they are walking and they walk by a jewelry, the woman says to the man, how beautiful those earrings are. She is implying or asking the question, please buy me those earrings because I like them. So she is not actually saying the phrase, but she implies that question in her expression. I hope you find this video useful.